Hey everyone, Brennan here for another episode of SexxPerTease, and today's question is, do you believe in the saying, if something comes back to you, it's yours? Assuming the guy didn't cheat on you, if he left you and wanted to get back together, would you let him? I do think we all. I know I've done this multiple times where I've said I hate a guy, I don't want to ever get back with you. You have a big fight, you break up, and then months later you're back together. It depends on the guy in the situation because I feel like if you and a guy break up early on, you're not already invested. Like, if something horrible happens and you just have a big falling out and you weren't invested in him, you don't really know him that well because it's still new into the relationship, and then he leaves. I do think, I don't know, it's hard to know when to give a guy a second chance and when not to give him a second chance. And if he didn't cheat on you, I do think, well, it depends what the other issue is. Because if he's lied or stole from you or was a drug addict or something, you shouldn't give him another chance because chances are he'll probably just do the same thing again. But I have lots of friends that have gotten back with their exes even though their friends protested and didn't think it was a good idea. But only you know when it's worth getting back with someone. And I do think most of the time, I don't know, relationships are most likely to end regardless if you get back together after how many times or not. It's rare for anything to ever fully last, but it just depends how much you loved him or think he's worth the chance to and what you're willing to forgive. Because if he didn't cheat on you, even I don't think, well, it's probably gonna sound horrible, but I don't think one indiscretion is enough to throw away all our relationships for, even though I don't think cheating should be tolerated or just easily forgiven or just ignored. But sometimes people make mistakes and it's not worth throwing away your entire relationship or life you built together with someone, but make them pay. But if a guy was to dump me, I've had lots of encounters though. I've had times online when I talk to guys multiple times and we just always get in a fight, or I'm just fuck off and I don't want to talk to you again. Then sometimes I've given a guy a second chance, but usually because there's a free meal involved and I have nothing else to do that night. So why not just give it another chance and see what happens and turns out. So, it depends on your circumstances because, I don't know, I guess if you're desperate, well, not really desperate, but if you're lonely and there's nobody else on the radar, it's tricky, and I don't know how to give a definite answer because it's not you can just say no, never forgive someone that comes back because it's completely unrealistic. And some guys are worth giving another chance, and some people are sorry. Even as yourself, sometimes you're gonna make a mistake, and sometimes you're gonna need someone to forgive you. And you wouldn't want them to just throw you away because you did something that messed things up, or you said one little thing wrong, or blah blah blah. If you got in a stupid little argument about nothing that's important or life altering, and it was just a disagreement, misunderstanding, maybe give them another chance, hear them out. Definitely take things slow, because I don't think you can just break up with someone and then get back together nothing bad actually happened, because you can't go back in the past, you can't change how things were, and you also can't really fully relive the past. So if something was great with a guy before and it's you still love him but he left you and then he comes back to you, it's kind of fishy because you don't know if he's coming back to you because whoever dumped him, was I second best? Did you like this other person more than me? And now, because they left you, you're settling for me again? I don't want that, because they probably will do it again. If they didn't think you were worth it the first time, why are you worth it the second time? But then again, it's not that easy to just replace and move on from someone. Because it's not that hard to find love or, meaningful relationships. Most people are single and, it's hard out here. So you can't just be whatever, I'll just find someone new. Because I do think that's, unrealistic whenever people are you're gonna break up, whatever. There's so many better people out there. I mean, of course there is someone better out there, but it's not that easy to just find the love of your life every day. It's not that easy to find love, and sometimes you do have to maybe make exceptions to things that you thought you never would, or do things that you never thought you would, and reimagine how you thought love was supposed to be. But nothing's ever gonna be a perfect fairy tale romance or courtship, so shit does happen and you have to put up with it. But I do think it depends on the circumstances, because cheating, it depends how early it was and how early in your relationship it is. Because if it's the first month or even weeks and somebody's already lying and cheating and stealing from you, dump them. They aren't good for you. They're not worth the time or effort. If they're gonna fuck up that early on, clearly it's gonna be a long, hard road ahead and not worth it. And if they come back to you, I guess, if you thought this person was actually special, definitely, like, start from scratch, like, but I guess it's hard to let go if someone's like, you're not good enough, I want somebody else, I connect with them better than you, and then they dump you, and then they, like, try to come back to you later. That's so disrespectful and, like, makes you feel so low and damaged, and it's gonna be hard to, like, look past that in the future, because you're always thinking in the back of your mind, this person left me and abandoned me before, they're just gonna do it again, and how long am I waiting until they just throw me away for someone they think is better than me? And, like, if they didn't think you were better or perfect for them before, why am I suddenly perfect now? You realize that they were better than me, or, like, they aren't better than me, but it's, like, too late, motherfucker. Oh, this is such a hard question, but it's good to have hard questions. It just depends on circumstances, how long you've been together, and if you know deep down, like, you can't ask your friends, because friends are always going to be there to, like, try to protect you, and they're gonna say, leave this piece of shit alone. Like, if you always tell your friends the bad things about a person, especially, like, a horrible breakup story, they're gonna hate the person regardless. So, sometimes you just have to rely on yourself and what is best for you. And if a guy does break your heart twice, then you really knew that this is a mistake. But there's no point in having a mistake because you can't make up for it or, like, change the past. So it depends. Deep down in your gut, do you feel like this person's worth another chance? Do you think that... Do you live somewhere where it's easy to meet other people, or, like, love is right around the corner? Because it's always not. And sometimes you live places that aren't full of men or, like, good options. And it's just like... You know what, I know this guy fucked up, but whatever, I'll give him another chance to see what happens this time. But you can't be as open or giving with your heart. You have to protect yourself, and I guess you're going to be more cautious and scared constantly. But I guess romance is scared because you never know when someone is thinking, or, like, when they will eventually, like, want to move on or break up with you. So I do think if a guy does come back and you think that this is someone that you had deep emotional, like, connections with, or even if they're coming back and you're like, fuck, no, I'm not going to date you again, but we can maybe fuck around, but then you think that's probably harder because you might catch feelings again, and then it's just like, whatever, I'm not going to be serious with him, and then it's like, oh, like, he found something new, and it's like, I wanted him all along. So you just have to do whatever the fuck you want. Does he feel like it's worth it? Does it feel like it's love? Does it feel like potential? Because sometimes it can be better the second time around than it was the first time around, depending on how invested and deep your relationship was. So if a guy does come around, I do think at least give him one more chance. If he changes and is better, then it's worth it. But if he doesn't, let him go. And if you know, like, the second time someone fucks you over, it's not meant to be. So, depending on what tier you see this guy, if it's possibly love, or if it's just, like, too early to tell, like, throw him away. If it's possibly love, and it's deep, give him another chance. Take it slow, start from the beginning, and see what happens. But it's impossible to prevent yourself from getting hurt in the future, so you just have to do what you have to do to find love in this crazy world. I hope that helped answer your question, and submit more questions to me at SexxxPerTease.wordpress.com.